Welcome back, everybody. This is the final episode of the No Infantry Campaign Challenge on Ultimate General Civil War, fighting the Battle of Richmond as the Union. I thought the last episode would be the final battle, but as it turned out, there was more to be done. So this will be the final episode. I'm just looking at my supplies real quick here. And so here's what we're going to do. Real quick before we dive into this last phase, I just want to take a look at the army and just review some of the units and how they've performed. I'm primarily going to look at the 2-star units and all the named units because most of the newer ones aren't going to have done much to have really kind of been of note. So let's just kind of look through some of my units and how they've performed. We've got Kershaw's brigade, which probably has not always been called that. This brigade actually hasn't been used all that much. If you look at it, it was available all the way back at Gaines Mill when Kershaw was a major. He's now a brigadier general, and they've actually not been used in very many battles. So you can see there, 1,800 losses, 3,300 total kills. Pretty good for them. Now, the artillery is where you're going to see a lot of good things. 205 total losses going all the way back to Crossroads early in the war, and 10,000 total kills. And this was a unit that wasn't even formed. Well, it says the 26th of December, 1863, but that doesn't make sense because they fought at Shiloh, which was in 1862, where they had 41 losses and 1,200 kills. Probably their best performance altogether. Same thing here, really good. Let's look at Sanders for just a second. He actually hasn't been used all that much either. Now, the 1st Virginia, this was a unit that is one of my named units for one of the patrons, but it was very late in the war. It's one of our more recent patrons. So this wasn't a unit that I named early on. They only got this name maybe in the last couple of months. But still a pretty good showing. 3,000 total losses, over 6,000 total kills. I'm just looking for some really notable ones. Like here we've got 20-pounders. Now they weren't always 20-pounders. Back at Shiloh there were 6-pounder field pieces, but they still had 97 losses and 746 kills. A lot of that goes back to what I did in the fortified area around Pittsburgh Landing. So after that, then they switched to the 20-pounder Parrots, which they've had the rest of the war. You can see at Gettysburg, probably their best day. 67 lost, 1,179 killed. Here's the 7th Cavalry, another one of our named units for a patron. Excellent, excellent performance. Almost 5,000 losses, which is amazing when you think about it, that it's never had more than 750 men in the unit at any one time. And yet, while suffering these tremendous losses, very heavily engaged, they've inflicted over 1,000 on 3 different occasions. Once at Thoroughfare Gap, once at Antietam, and then again at Chickamauga. So excellent, excellent performance for them. Here's one of my only 3-star units. They've got 157 total losses and 12,500 kills. Shiloh, 1,454 kills. 1,600 at Gettysburg. Definitely their 2 best performances. Look at a few others here. It's pretty good. 6 total losses, 2,000 total kills. Here's the Snakefoot Brigade. 3,500 total losses, 7,400 total kills. Their best day seems to have definitely been Antietam, where they lost 381 but killed 1,430. They were well armed with those Colt 1855s. All right, let's look just at some of our other named units now. Well, we'll look at these 20-pounders. Again, 12,000 kills. My unfortunate apologies to the Paper Collar Brigade, who unfortunately was wiped out in the early part of the Battle of Richmond, so we can't go back and look at their stats. I could probably go back and do that by loading an earlier save game, but otherwise we really can't see what they did, except to know that they were there from the beginning. I'm looking to find, I know I've got more than that, but I just don't know where the other units are. I may have lost others as well. 40th Kentucky, which was one I named myself for one of my ancestors' units, had 11,000 kills. All right, so that's just a little bit of an overview. I did go back in and kind of fill in some of these units. I sold off some reputation points, so my reputation went from 95 down to 60, so that's going to hurt my morale a little bit, but I thought I would trade the morale for getting some additional men in some of these units that were really low. So I tried to boost all of my units, for the most part, back up to at least 400. Couldn't do that in every case because I didn't have enough weapons in some cases to do that. But I do have some money left over, which I'm gonna pour into getting my supplies back up as well. And I ran out of 20-pounder parrots, so I can't boost up any of those units. But let's take a look and see where I might be able to boost up some others. So we'll get those 10-pounders back up. Most of these other units are doing pretty well. I can get these hunters back up to 250 at least. I'll probably put the rest into supply just to make sure I've got plenty of supplies for my men going into this final battle. Now there may be some supply depots that I can capture here and there, but let's go ahead and dive in. Let's do this. So we're looking at 45,000 men, 391 guns to take Richmond, which is defended by just under 20,000 men and 193 guns. Yesterday we succeeded in securing the east entrenchments by penetrating and capturing the command post located there. All the way south, continuing at New Bridge Road, and ending at Williamsburg Road. We also captured the fort commanding that strategic area. Now we get to cross the river. I'm assuming that's the Rappahannock. And we are going to attack the east side of Richmond. This is not going to be easy. 5 forts and strong trench networks surround the city. 2 forts are dominating the southeast defenses. They don't have that many men, though. As long as it gives me all of my men at once, I'll be fine. A powerful star fort guarding the eastern route to Richmond. Another Confederate fort is located further north. And lastly, this one blocking the north side of the city. Our army's going to begin to attack from this direction. All right, so we're going to just back out here and just skip everything. All right, so here we go. We don't get our whole army at the beginning, which of course means he's probably going to have fairly even numbers, but maybe not. So here's where we're at. We're at 6,000 men on the field so far for me, 3,000 for him. So let's begin. We're just going to start advancing forward. I'm sure I'll run into skirmishers here somewhere at some point. Alright, I need somebody over on this side just to be sure he doesn't sneak up and try to hit my artillery. And then we're going to bring up the guns. So his fortifications go all the way along here. There's really no reason at all for me to hit the fortifications on this side. Nothing to be gained by that. Okay, all of my mounted infantry are already dismounted. And it looks like I can see him from here, so that's the good news. I don't need to get closer to be able to see what's going on. Now, we're going to silence his batteries first. Dang. Okay. Wasn't expecting him to light my batteries up like that. But I got bigger guns than you, buddy. I'm almost sure of that. Oh, they might be rifled artillery. Wow, is he really pulling them out already? Wow! They routed the second they started getting pounded by the artillery. Are you kidding me? Dude, that is way too easy. I guess we go occupy the fort. Man, definitely was not expecting that. First couple of shots and they're like, alright, I'm out. And there are supplies here, so that's some extra good news. Well, he's only got 3,000 men on the field here. Alright. In comes the melee cavalry. 4 units with which I can probably decimate his entire army on the field. Oh, pal, you're gonna stay right there, buddy. We're going to send all that melee cav right around the outside of this fort and just gobble up these units if they haven't completely broken and run away by then. Which it looks like they may be doing. Meanwhile, we're going to shell these guys into submission. There are 50,000 supplies in that fort. That's insane and awesome. Wow. Alright, that was unexpectedly easy. I thought they'd at least put up a little bit of a fight. Alright, number one, we're gonna destroy Fry in the river. And then it looks like he's going to try to reoccupy those fortifications, which, please do. By all means, pull me right into low. Alright, what's he down to? He's down to just 1,700 men. I guess that's all that I see here. Wow, this is fun. All that hard work pays off on this second day, I guess. I think I alluded to this a little bit yesterday, but the one thing I think I've learned more than anything else in this series, well, 2 things. Number one, and I kind of already knew this one, is the power of kind of the locust mentality with melee cavalry. If you have multiple units, you can hit and very quickly destroy a large body of infantry with melee cavalry if you can catch them in the open. So kind of that pack mentality, that wolf pack And then the other thing is the power of large amounts of artillery to really turn the tide of a battle quickly. Now, Sims is going to be a little more of a challenge here because he's in the woods. Let's go finish off Wagaman, and that'll be all of the units on this battlefield. We will have completely massacred the Confederate army in the north. As soon as we can push these guys out of the woods, they'll quickly get wiped out too. 1st Virginia Cavalry has 1,000 kills and 71 deaths so far in this battle. Alright, they're gone. And here goes Wagaman. And he surrendered. Alright, we move on. Commence attack from the east. We'll see what the numbers look like here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think we're in good shape here. So far he's got 3,000 men against my 21,000. Alright, here we go. I guess I don't have to be too concerned about doing this slow and methodical at this point. Not when I outnumber him, what, 9 to 1? Let's go grab this supply depot over here real quick. We'll just start advancing. Good night. This is going to be fun. All except for Wagaman. We're going to let him route. Thank you. Hey, everybody, just start moving in that direction, please. Here's the forts right here and here. If they retreat out of these ones the way they did the first ones, boy, this is not going to take long. Alright, let's get up there and get this battery. I don't know if I'll get there before he gets back to the fort, but we're going to try. Oh, hello, artillery. Say hello to my little friends. You really advance out here with just artillery? Alright, that artillery is gone. Alright, melee cav, you can back off for now. There's some more artillery here. Alright, hang tight, guys. I'm gonna bring up the guns. Oh, General Mason was killed. That kind of sucks. This late hour in the war. Get everybody moved up and start shelling these forts into oblivion. Got an hour and 26 to go, so I guess I don't think time is of the essence, though. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll probably just open up to the next phase if I don't complete this now. I'll just wipe these guys out. Come on. Alright, let's target his artillery, finish them out. After we finish these two out here, then we can focus on the ones in the fort. Okay, that one's gone. These guys are about to be gone. There we go. Let the shelling of the fort commence in earnest. Now we can see this one. I don't have nearly the artillery down here, but I'm going to go ahead and actually bring these smoothbores out in front. I've got a lot of them here. So they're going to take some damage, but they're going to do a lot of damage. Alright, I guess I could probably just walk into this fort at this point, but we'll let the artillery do their job a little while longer. But I'll go ahead and start the process of moving units up. Some of my larger units. Don't have a lot of large units on this side. Is Gary really coming out to meet me? Guess that's one way to do it. Oh wow, Shaler got driven off. He's still got some significant artillery in there, that's why. Bye-bye, Gary. That battery crumbled in a hurry. So is this one going to. Alright, let's get all this artillery down here for fort number 2. Boy, it got awful quiet up there now. I'll not really be able to get this artillery in position in time, at least not in this phase. We're just going to move everybody down because that's what we need to do. Get a little closer with these guys. This one's a little stronger, so I'm kind of taking my time. I'm guessing I don't need to take it yet, so I know I've got the men to do it. I'm just trying to preserve my army. Once I get all this artillery up here in the north, I can really do some damage. Oh, he's just going to run anyway. And Hobson's going to come out and do what the other guys did, which is fight it out outside, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and send in the melee cav. At least these 2 units. They're going to get hit by this artillery that's still in the fort, but that's okay. They're going to wipe out Hobson in the process. Now we'll hit this artillery. Bye-bye, Stark. This is one of those rare instances where you're actually really excited about the fact that your melee cav got pulled. Oh, I got 2 more units over here that I should have been using. Alright, all the forts are captured, even though 2 of them are still contested. So now I think we'll probably open up to the south side. Alright, the attack from the south has begun. This is all just the end game, folks. It's not going to take long, I don't think. Alright, let's take a look at what we're dealing with. A little bit better numbers for him. I only outnumber him by 10,000 men here, and he's actually got a decent amount of artillery, comparatively speaking. We've got 2 hours to take 3 objectives, the city itself and 2 forts. Again, won't be a problem. Just a matter of how bloody I want it to get in the process. Alright, we'll have to leave somebody back at this fort, so let's find a smaller unit. A couple of smaller units. We'll stick them there. We'll start moving up to the river. Get the guns going. Guess we're just going to have to do it this way. So I don't want to be reckless, but I do need to move quickly because the timer's pretty short. Now, I'm guessing, like I said before, I've got more time than just these 2 hours to get this done. But why wait? This is going to be tricky because he's got these guys kind of overlooking the river. And if you've ever been to Richmond, you know what this is like. It is a pretty kind of ominous look from standing up on top overlooking the Rappahannock River down below. I guess this is the Rappahannock right here. Well, he's firing on me, but I don't see him yet. I feel like going up and around over this way would be the better way to go, but I just don't have time to do that. So let's get a look at him. Oh, there's my melee cav. We got to get them out front. Artillery's going to start firing here in a second, so that'll help. Do I have any other melee cav? I do have some over here. Let's get those guys up there too. These are relatively fresh units on this side. I think I'm going to hit Colquitt with the melee cav. Ouch. Oh, there's another unit up here, so we gotta be careful. Wow, once all that artillery opened up, didn't take long. Actually, let's pull these guys out. I've got a toehold up here. Ouch, Hazen. Sorry about that, buddy. Gotta break through these last couple of units over on this side. There we go. Get out of there, Colquitt. Okay, he's got 3,600 men left. Honestly, this 1,400 or so melee cav over here can do a number on most of those men if they get the chance. We're gonna let them chase him all the way into the city. Or over to the river. Okay, there's an hour to go. I'm just going to go ahead and leave my artillery where they are just because it'll take too long to get them across the river and into position to do anything to help. Let's get over here and finish that guy off. Alright, he's out. What's that leave him with? 3,000 men. Alright, this artillery's got to be dealt with. Here come 3 fresh units of mounted infantry, and they are going to be the ones with which I take this fort. spearheaded by the melee cav. Colquitt's out. Alright, let's get him out of there. Hit this battery. The melee cav's gonna take some casualties here, but that's okay. Alright, Page and Baker, take the city. And once I take the fort, this little outcrop will be easy to take. Come on, guys, we gotta deal with these guys in this fort. Ouch. Oh, man. Gotta neutralize that battery. That fort's proven a lot tougher to take than the others were. A little surprised by that. Probably because my artillery's farther behind and can't do as much to support the attack. Oh, pew. No, 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 no. Everybody else is falling back. Alright, this one's gonna have to wait until the artillery can do the rest. Bringing across the artillery. That means it's not going to be done on this phase. That's okay. It's only 3:30 in the afternoon. He's got 2,300 men left on this side, but he does have 40 guns, and that's kind of what's giving me the hard time here. Alright, the attack continues from all sides, so now we're just opening up the whole battlefield. That's fine, that makes it a lot easier for me. No, there's not really a lot going on this side, I guess. We just wait till the timer ticks down. So we'll go ahead and do that and come back. Alright, that didn't take long. We're back to this side again. And so now we're going to get the artillery into position. And that'll help me to finish these guys off on this side. I can't even see the people over here. So let's get a little closer so I can. Got 2.5 hours now, so... There we go. Now Vaughn's going to take some fire. So we'll get the guns into place, we'll shell him for a little bit, and then we'll charge in and take these forts. Alright, here we go. Rebel cavalry is flanking us. Make a defensive line. Oh, not much rebel cavalry. See, this is why you leave men behind on your objectives. Alright, now or never. Now the battlefield opens up, and now we can bring units down from the south. So it's really a 4 hours for the whole thing, for the battle, for a battle for the whole Civil War. Here we go. So these guys should be enough to hold this fort. Maybe. Send some help down just to be safe. And now the fun really begins, because now we can send units down from the north to finish off this fort in the south. Oh, look at that! Reinforcements to try and take back the city. Who do we have up here that we can send down to deal with these guys in the city? Send down some of my bigger units. So it looks like he may at least temporarily take the city back, but that's not a huge deal. Plenty of time. It's really just kind of a matter of organizing my counterattack here. Ah, forget it. I don't need to capture these supplies. They aren't going to do me any good because there's no more battles. I'm just sending everybody down, and I'll worry about formations later. Alright, we got one battery back here that's giving me fits. Alright, 40th Kentucky, get out of there before you get wiped out. Not that it matters at this point. Just gonna let my artillery shell that fort into oblivion. Everybody move in. Forget formations, forget thinking. Let's just do this. It's the last battle. Somebody surrendered. Oh, that's just the Union secured Richmond notification. Not much left defending the fort at this point. Alright, let's do this. No, 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 no. Alright. Secured Fort Ricketts, at least for now. The entire Confederate army now consists of 2,400 men. There's one to go. Three hours to do it, so I'm going to take my good old sweet time here. Although I really don't have to. I could bring all these guns down from the north too. I don't really need all that to do this. What's over here? There's a battery. Okay. 2,000 men. Almost all of it right here. Speed this along. Bring up all of my southern artillery. Bring up the units that still have a decent amount of men in them. Oh, he's gonna come to me. How nice. Wow. This is just a fraction of my available artillery, and they are just scaring him out of the fort. So now we just walk in. Well, we gotta wait for Cox to get scared off again, which he now does. And that should do it. We just wait for these contested timers to tick. And the 1,781 men left to figure out what they're doing. Alright, there's Fort Rockets. Now we just wait for Fort Almonds to finish being contested. We go up here and remind the Confederates why it is they need to surrender. He's got more units somewhere. I just don't see them, but that doesn't matter. Because there are still 1,000 men, and there's only 500 of them here. Tick, tick, tick. Alright, that's enough casualties. No more blood needs to be shed. Let's let Fort Almond tick. Oh, he's going to insist on shedding a little more blood. He's coming after my artillery. Alright, just 546 men left. I can see 159 of them. I don't know where the rest are. I don't care. That is the war, I think. You never know for sure. There it is. Okay. So let's look over the final numbers. He's actually showing a larger army than me, which is really kind of interesting because I didn't think that was the case. But, alright. So here's the strength. I had about 40. Oh, it was because I had so much in guns. About 50,000 men total. It looks like he actually ended up having 60,000. So he did outnumber me by about 10,000. But it didn't matter. We killed almost all of his infantry, all of his cavalry, number of missing. So that's that. None of this matters. But that's the victory in the Civil War. Let's take a look at the final numbers. It's going to take its time loading those final numbers. Usually the closing loading screen doesn't take this long. Here we go. Oh, we got my 35 reputation back. Hooray! The Union has finally prevailed. The Confederate capital is taken, and the rebels signed a peace treaty accepting our terms. The brutal Civil War that cost the lives of thousands and divided our nation for more than 4 years is finally over. All Confederate generals have surrendered, including Lee, your greatest adversary. The country will be united again, and slavery shall cease to exist in the United States. The Reconstruction era begins that will reform our nation and ensure that Americans will never fight Americans again. Not entirely too sure about that, but all right, so here we go. We lost 81,000 infantry, 6,200 artillerymen, 40,000 cavalry. Total kills. Beautiful, beautiful numbers. You can see 4-to-1 infantry, about 6-to-1 artillery, and slightly more losses on cavalry, just because that's what my army was primarily made of. But that's it. All right, guys, thanks so much for sticking with me over these several months of this kind of unique challenge that I took on. I think I learned a lot. I hope you did too. Next up will be the legendary campaign on the Union side, which is one I haven't done yet. I think I've learned a lot. I think it's going to help me a lot going into that very difficult challenge. So thanks for watching. Please thumbs up. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you again probably in about a week or so for the legendary campaign.